Just baking cookies.
Cookies. No, we're not baking cookies, but we're baking something tonight because we're live on paraglidingtalk.com. Glad that you're
Cookies.
here tonight. We've got a special show lined up. We have Kinga with us, Kinga Masztalerz. I always have a hard time saying that. She's supposed to come on the show tonight. I hope she's not flying right now. Um, I just got the warning about bad connection. Oh gosh, internet. So glad that you're here tonight. I'm really excited. If as long as everything goes good with the internet, King is going to be with us. Uh, if you haven't seen an episode, we've had her on a couple times. The last time was really bad with the internet connection, and so it was kind of cut short. But she mentioned to me that the internet, her connection is much better. But at the same time, I think the flying weather is really good in New Zealand right now, and so she may be on a flying adventure right now. And I won't hate if she's in the air. It's fine. I would rather fly too. This show is brought to you by PPG Smoke. Ryan Roberts has all kinds of stuff that he's working on right now. I just talked to him today. We're going to be doing that motor giveaway really soon. There's some new stuff, some new details that are coming out with that. He may come on. I'm going to try to, I'll send him a link and try to harass him a little bit, see if he'll come on and give us some info. But really excited about tonight's show. PPG Smoke is the website. Go check that out for if you purchase one of the headsets, you can get your name in a raffle to win a motor, not a frame and harness and all that, but just a motor. Simonini is the brand. Go check that out. It's going to be pretty awesome if you want to get those headsets. I've tried the headsets. I tried the newest, latest version, and they are amazing. I can't wait to get my ears on some. Not fingers, ears. Also, this show is brought to you by Midwest Parajet. Go check out their website. Midwest Parajet is an awesome organization, and they got a network of great schools across the country, mostly in the Midwest, obviously. Go check out their website. The website is midwestparajet.com. We're going to be doing another show with them soon. Stay tuned for that. We had a great time with the guys, a couple of the guys from their from Midwest Parajet, and we're going to do it again. Can't wait for that. Also, this show is brought to you by paramotorprops.com. If you accidentally blow up a prop, which it's probably going to happen. And actually, I had one of the guys told me, hey, check it out. You're going to blow up a prop. He said something about my launches, and he's like, dude, you better just buy another one right now. If I buy one, it's probably going to be from paramotorprops.com. Also, this show is brought to you by paraorangeproducts.com. Paraorange, Larry and Chris, they made all kinds of great things to protect your gear, including prop covers, weatherproof motor covers. He's got some really great windsocks and poles for your streamers. Check out paraorange.com or paraorangeproducts.com, and you will not be disappointed. Really stoked tonight. If you haven't heard about the X-Alps, and I'm surprised at how many people really don't know about the X-Alps, but I want to just mention this tonight. Pretty amazing. I would say probably the most strenuous, the craziest, most manliest. It's like a, what do you call it? Like a triathlon, but it involves hiking and flying and running and walking and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's a competition. 2 years ago, they did it, and they flew or hiked or whatever or ran all the way from Salzburg to Monaco, which is 1,000 kilometers. They take about 12 days. There's 30 pilots that compete in this, and they're tied in with a few people. They've got a ground crew, and there's guys that are studying the weather. They literally will hire meteorologists to be on their team that are most of the time also pilots. And what they will do is they will have a they'll have a ground crew that kind of just keeps them alive, because it's just brutal 12 days. It doesn't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if it's blown out. It doesn't matter if it's incredibly dangerous flying conditions. They just get on the ground and start running. They might be in the rain. They'll they'll cover themselves with a trash bag or something, put their gear in the bag, but anyways, 1,000 kilometers. I don't even know how far that is in the air, because they're not just going, from point A to point B might be 1,000 kilometers, but they're also having to, fly with the wind and follow certain mountain ranges. So they may be flying way more than that. But
I believe they had some of the past posted up on YouTube. I had actually caught footage of the competitions and kind of the placements.
Oh yeah.
And it was brutal. I mean, it was like, wow, I would love to do it, but I don't have that kind of energy to do that.
Yeah, that we're pretty much exclude every American except for what's his name, Cody Mittank. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's from America. So is Gavin McClurg, who's also been on the show in the beginning days. He came on the show. He's probably a little too famous now for us. This little pair of peeps.
No such thing, Robert.
And I got a paramotor, so it's a little there. Some people are purists and they're like, oh, wait, it's got a bunch of paramotor sponsors. Disgusting. Free flight people are pretty funny. I will say that I do prefer free flight.
Hey, Craig Taylor's
go way farther.
Getting bullied by Google right now.
Oh, really?
Yo, me and the Google moderator team are going to be stuck behind the green screen, I'm telling you, because they're messing with the links that I put in the chat for this show.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Every one of them.
What? It's just blocking them?
It says message deleted by Google moderator team.
What in the world?
Well, Greg, I think you should tell the internet exactly how you feel.
I've already typed it in there. I let them know we're going to be stuck behind the green screens.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, look at that. That's kind of weird. It's funny because it says it's been deleted by a Google moderator team. Well, thanks a lot, Google, for moderating my moderators right out of a job. Thanks.
Jeep.
It's probably a setting thing. I'll check it out after the show. So yeah, back to the X-Alps. It is incredible. And if you're a free flight pilot or if you're a motor pilot, you can really enjoy this, because what the guys do there with Red Bull and the sponsors, they will take these trackers and there's cameras everywhere. They got a couple helicopters that are following these guys around, obviously not really close, but they will basically record the whole thing start to finish, and they're with them and you can watch live, and they show the placements, they're active they have an active map and you can see where everybody's flying. This year's route is a little different. It used to be that you'd fly from Salzburg to Monaco and end up in Italy there. Excuse me. And then this year they're actually just doing almost a big out and back, and you end up almost back in Salzburg again. And it actually, you end up in this range called Zell MC. And that's the new, landing zone return place. So that's super cool. And I really want to know what some of these guys have to say. So my goal is I'm going to try to get some of these guys on the show, obviously, so we can talk about the new route and discuss some of the details of what their strategies are going to look like, and what are some of the downfalls from choosing this new route and who's involved and all. Anyways, I've got a bunch of questions. If you haven't watched it before, you should check it out. Pretty awesome and nail biting almost the whole time.
Very.
The whole 12 days. Super fun. Yeah.
It's suspenseful. It's like TV, but without the reruns.
Yeah.
It's like each person, their reaction to like walking up the hill to take off again if they've landed.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yep. Kriegel Maurer is the guy that he's won it every time. So since they've had, I think it started in 2003, he's won it every year. They call him the Eagle. And my goal this year is to get him on the show. Yeah. I realize his English is good enough that he could do it. I first thought maybe because I'd never really heard him speak English in his interviews. And this last time I noticed he was taking interviews from all kinds of people and doing it in English. DP donated $5 to the super chat. Alms for the poor. More to come. Thank you, DP, for that generous donation for the poor. Appreciate that. We've got some more details. By the way, I want to just kind of fill in for Kinga. She's trying to get connected, or she's just flying and just totally forgot about the show. I have no idea. But she some of the questions I have, I wanted to talk about the new route, new location. And when we this new year, this new setup, from what I gather, is going to be just as challenging, if not even more challenging. So it's funny because it's already the most challenging adventure race on the planet. What more, how much more challenging can you get? You're going to run and hike and fly through the most treacherous terrain on the planet. I mean, next to, I guess, what, Antarctica or something. It's an insane race. And, I found out some stuff. You guys all know Paul Guschelbauer. He came on the show a couple times. He actually got his flight training right down the street from here for a fixed wing airplane. Before he did his big adventure flight from Alaska down to South America, he did, basically end to end. But he was on the show. Did you know that he was mountain biking or something and injured himself and is in a cast? One of his legs is in a cast, and his recovery time puts him very close or questionable whether or not he's going to be in the Red Bull X-Alps this year. Super scary. Yeah. So anyways, he check out Paul Guschelbauer's channel and check out his Instagram. He hasn't posted much on the old YouTube because I don't think he spends a whole lot of time editing. He actually has a guy that does it for him. So I'm not sure if he's just taking a break or maybe he fired his guy. But he does have an Instagram. That's where I found out that information. By the way, you can follow the show on Instagram, paraglidingtalk.com. If you look up Paragliding Talk on Instagram, and you find, I put some shenanigans on there, but go check it out. Make sure you follow me on there, and I'll follow you too. Everybody who chimes in. Oh, look who just came in. Kinga's here right now. She's here. Bing bong. All right. She's logging in right now. She's got audio but no video yet. Oh, I'm so glad. She's probably out in the sticks somewhere right now, just far away from good internet. But she got the link and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna check in." I can hear the birds. Kinga, are you there?
Hi, Robert.
Hello. You made it in.
Did I make a? Okay, I thought we are doing it in another hour. To be honest.
No. We are live right now on the internet.
Right.
Yes, I'm so excited that you made it. I was worried that maybe it was a really good flying day, and I told everyone that's possible that you might be flying right now.
Okay, so it's really nice that I actually checked it, double checked it. I will.
Yes.
Okay, I will turn on my camera in just a second. I will take my headphones.
Okay, yeah, take your time. So, oh, I'm so glad right now. I was worried that she wasn't going to make it, so I'm really excited. It's a whole different time zone. She's in New Zealand right now, so it's I have to ask my Google what time it is in New Zealand.
Is it tomorrow or is it yesterday? Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Sorry, it's Friday. Yeah.
Morning, night, afternoon. What is it?
Yeah.
Come on, who can?
Oh, it's early morning. Yeah, it's like 10 o'clock there, I think.
Let's see if you post it in the chat the first.
What time is it in New Zealand?
Right now.
It is time to
1:15. 1:15.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, I've got some really good questions. If you have questions for her in the chat, yeah, reach out to her. We want to also, if you have connections to any of the Red Bull X-Alps athletes and you want to try to get them on the show, please message me on the website, paraglidingtalk.com. We're going to reach out to a bunch of them this year and try to get maybe Kriegel Maurer or maybe a Cody Mitnack, Toma. I think Toma speaks English good enough. Kriegel, Aaron Duragati. That'd be cool to have him on. Obviously, we'll call Gavin. I'm sure Gavin will come on the show. Yeah. Paraglidingtalk.com. Can I mention before we get fired up here that we have a sponsor that is a local plumbing company, American Allied Drains and Plumbing, that sponsors the show. If you want to get some plumbing, maybe you're here locally and you want to get a good deal on a plumber, maybe you got some issues with your house, reach out to American Allied Drains and Plumbing at 844-777-9055, and they will take care of you. And if you mention Paragliding Talk, you will get a 10% discount. Pretty awesome stuff. Want to Fly donated $10 to the super chat. He said, "We love what we love what you do, guys." Hey, thank you. Kinga, you're here.
Hi. I'm really sorry. I haven't got headphones. I can't find them, and I'm really sorry for making you.
No,
wait.
You're okay. You're okay.
And all together, it's just so weird. There's always something with me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just with you. Because
no, it's great. It built some suspense. It made it even better.
It gave
I like
Robert plenty of time.
Celebrity, always late,
yeah.
you know?
Yes. Celebrity. That's right.
It gave Robert plenty of time to give you the perfect intro.
That's right. I did. I got a good intro because I didn't write anything down. It's all from memory, so it's natural. Yeah.
Awesome.
Kinga, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show and doing this. If you guys don't know Kinga, she is an adventure pilot for paragliding, free flight paragliding. And before she was in the Red Bull X-Alps, she was already a Red Bull X-Alps athlete. They didn't know it. And so she's a pioneer of sorts of some amazing flying locations. And I encourage you, follow her if you can on Instagram, Facebook, and also she has a YouTube channel. She's got some awesome videos, and you will be absolutely inspired at some of the places where she's flown. I want to say congratulations for making it into the Red Bull X-Alps again this year. I'm so excited to see that. And
I'm very excited too.
Yes. And I can't wait. I have some great questions for you. Also, I noticed that it will say we collect baseball cards or football cards, you know, the little, you have your own card and it has your name on there. And this year it says veteran. And so you're not a rookie anymore. I'm really excited about that. I have some questions about that and what we can expect. So take us through. I know we did this another time, but please tell us how did it go down? How did the phone call come in? And talk about how you got invited to come on the X-Alps again this year.
Uh, so first of all, it's a really different energy dynamics than when it happened for the first time. When I qualified for the first time, I was really not only a rookie, obviously, but also I was quite young as a pilot. And especially if you think about it, I was just, when I qualified, I didn't even have 5 years of flying. So I was mostly scared. What did I put myself into? Because, you know, you compare yourself and you're about to compete and participate with, let's be honest, the best of mountain flying and athletes and pilots. So I was mostly freaking out and putting pressure on myself instead of enjoying the process. This year it's very different because first of all, I kind of know what to expect a little bit better. All the overwhelming logistics and pressure created by the event and what it's all about. But at the same time, I majored as a pilot since then, so I feel way more grown up as a pilot, which obviously helps a lot. And all this experience of first Red Bull X-Alps pushed me so far away from my comfort zone that once I survived all this, now I'm like, yeah, let's do it again, and let's try not to make the same mistakes, and let's make new mistakes, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess the answer is that I'm super stoked to be able to participate and again, and and let's hope it will happen, and that we all can happily travel to Red Bull X-Alps, because I don't know if you mentioned it, but
yeah,
I think we are all aware that it's very complicated this year. It's a very particular year. Last year we thought, oh, so it's so lucky that the Red Bull X-Alps is actually next year. But this year we're like, that's not so simple still. Logistics around X-Alps, both for team sides and organizer side, it's always massive. But this year it's really challenging. So let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, we have the right people to make it happen. It is the most challenging adventure race on the planet, in my opinion. And so we have the right people to accept the challenge, even if it becomes more challenging. So I'm excited by what's happening, and I'm excited for you. I want to talk a little bit about the new route. So it's normally, if you pay attention to the Red Bull X-Alps, it's from Salzburg to Monaco. This year, it's a little bit different. It looks like they're going to go from Salzburg to around Mont Blanc and then back to Zell-MC, and talk a little bit about the difference. I'm sure that you've already spent many hours studying the routes and finding out what the differences are. Talk a little bit about what your first impressions were with the new route.
I have very mixed feelings about it, because there are definitely fantastic sides to this new route, but at the very core, Red Bull X-Alps, the X is for crossing the Alps. This is how the DNA, this is where the DNA of the race is, really. So the race started not as some and has been going like this. It was just, so it started as basically crossing the main crossing the Alps, the whole Alps, all the way to Monaco without any turn points. It was just, oh, who will be first crossing the whole Alps, and then slowly more and more turn points, signboards, and more media coverage, and more the race has grown, obviously, and it has become bigger as an event, and more focused not only on the sports side of it, but also on this being attractive for followers and for the fans and for potential sponsors. So it's changed the dynamics of the race, obviously, within the years. And especially when I was talking to some veterans, like real veterans, I'm like a baby veteran. There are some guys who've been doing it for more than a decade, and they really notice this massive change and shift in what the race is about. And this part of making the route, changing the route so drastically, I have really mixed feelings, because it's, for me, always the goal was on this raft in Monaco. And it's not that I'm a huge fan of Monaco. It's not the most, my favorite place where I would choose to spend holidays. It's also not that it's easy. So in some ways, going, so the route for Red Bull X-Alps has always been basically headwind, because prevalent winds in Europe and in European Alps are coming from the west, or in France from southwest. So basically, when we follow the route, we are going exactly headwind. So there's always extra challenge in it. There were a lot of voices that it would be actually easier and faster to do Red Bull X-Alps opposite direction,
Right,
from Mediterranean towards Austria than this way. So in this sense, we may say, okay, so maybe it will actually work, even if the route is longer and very challenging this year, like every year, but it's even longer than previously. We think, okay, at least half of it, we are going in the right direction. So we may have some backwind, hopefully. I mean, you never know, obviously. It's not that it's always westerly, but so there are kind of logistically things that are make it easier for organizers, easier for athletes, in the same way. The fact that we, whatever logistics we have, for example, in 2019 we left one car in Salzburg, and then we had to go all the way back to Salzburg to pick it up. One-way race. So there's a lot of driving, a lot of kilometers that are just put extra on top of the normal route. But still, I'm really, when we think about the biggest surprise or difference in this year's route, so the fact that it doesn't go to Monaco, but basically wraps itself around this Austrian, Italian, and Swiss Alps, with completely ignoring all the French Alps, it feels a little bit off to me personally.
Okay, I like it. Would you say that's the sentiment from most of the pilots?
Oh, I really don't want to talk for anyone else, you know, and it's also, you know, we as athletes, we are always, we always tend to say only extremely positive and enthusiastic things about the race. And the truth is that we are all super positive and enthusiastic about it. So not that we are lying here or whatever else. But and again, I would say that the route, from a planning point of view, and when we think about the challenges ahead in the route, it's a super interesting route. However, this one thing is just slightly, I really don't want to say anything. You know, you need to ask other athletes too.
We plan on doing that. So I may need your help to we're gonna try to get some of the other guys on the show. I was listening to Kriegel talking to someone, and his English is perfectly fine. And I thought in the beginning that maybe his English wasn't good enough to come on the show. He can do it. I'm going to try to get him on the show. I would love if we can try to get, you know, Cody,
Cody Mittank.
Mittank. He's local here. I'm going to try to get him on the show. And then it would be cool to have like Aaron Duragati. He's been in every X-Alps from the beginning, I believe. If not, maybe
not
just
quite from the beginning,
one.
But yes, I would say that if the up who it's either Thomas who has the longest stage, or Tom de Dodlodo, I think is the second in order.
The
long-term order.
I didn't. Paul Guschelbauer hurt himself. He
broke his leg. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to be able to compete. I don't know. Well, I know he can't. It's going to be close.
Yeah, and it can happen to any of us, especially the closer it gets, the more the volume of the training and the intensity of it. It's just it may happen.
I've got a lot of questions in the chat. People are firing off. I appreciate your questions. I do want to ask a few things. One of the guys did ask about your wing. Talk about what you're going to be flying this year, and talk about why. And then let's discuss a little bit about your ground crew.
Okay, I will be flying a FI wing. It's called Scala. It's a FI two-liner, and especially made by Hannes for this year's X-Alps. And
No kidding.
it's a great wing, very nice performance, stable, super light, everything that Red Bull X-Alps wing should be. Easy to pack. All Hannes, all their wings, all three wings are easy to pack. Don't have this super long rods that you have to be super careful with, which is really nice when you pack the wing under time pressure 4 times per day. It's really important, way more important than you would think. And yes, so I only flew a prototype, and now my final wings are coming now, next days. So I'm super excited.
Really?
With my very specific little color touch. It's like I wanted it to be pink. It can't really be pink, but at least I have a little pink touch on the tips. So
nice.
And I'm planning to fly a harness from Neo, which is being developed now for Red Bull X-Alps.
Wow.
General Red Bull X-Alps harnesses are basically made to measure for us to get rid of all the extra buckles, because every little buckle is obviously a little extra weight. Yes, so this is the plan.
You're flying the FI. What do you think about it? How long have you been flying it now?
I think it's awesome, but again, because I've been flying prototypes, so I would really wait for this very for the general conclusion. This few days, if we talk next week, I should already be able to tell you at 100% what I think. But I think it's a beautiful construction. I think it's a beautiful construction, and I'm very excited. I'm super excited actually to fly this thing this year. Another change from 2019 that I wasn't quite sure what should I fly, because I imagined that with my quite limited piloting skills, I shouldn't fly two-liner. I shouldn't fly something that's too hot, that will scare me in the very difficult conditions that potentially we can fly in X-Alps, because sometimes, and it's true that sometimes in X-Alps we fly in the conditions that are not really flyable paragliding conditions, that you would ride the day like this, you would write it off. You would say, no, like normally you would just like, no, I will go mountain biking or do something else. It's really important to have something that you're extremely comfortable with. And I was very comfortable with the wing I was flying, with the Wild from Super. But then I realized that I was maybe a little bit too comfortable and played it a little bit too safe, because especially when you fly a small size and you go for it was a D wing, D freeliner, but still it was a little bit soft on the mellow side. And then you fly a small size and I'm not very well loaded on it. Then every extra little bit of performance and agility that you can have, it's quite helpful. So also I understand a little bit better this time what I want from a wing. So I'm very excited about this FI new construction.
We talk about wing manufacturers, and Ozone has a great presence, and we hear locally everyone is flying Ozones, but recently FI has broken into the scene, and I actually get a chance. I was just on the phone with a friend of mine who has one, and I'm going to test fly one. It's in my weight range, and so I'm excited about that. I want to try it out. I'm glad to hear that you're going to be flying one too. We were talking about each wing has its own character, even though it may be the same cut, same wing. It's possible that that particular wing, your wing, will be special, and so that's that's something to think about too. Then, how much time do you get to fly that wing before the competition?
Oh, we'll see when it comes, and we'll see when the competition actually is. because
yeah.
I think you guys heard that it may be postponed.
Right.
That was supposed to be a secret, but because someone leaked it out, and Cross Country magazine published the news about it.
No, I didn't
So
even
I'm
know
not.
that.
Yeah. So I'm not so careful about. And Gavin then published the news about it because Cross Country magazines. I mean, once it was in Cross Country magazine that we stopped being too
Quiet.
secret about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, but there's still a big chance,
Wow.
and we're still waiting for information that if it's actually going to happen in June, because
Right.
the last update was that there's a big chance that it may be postponed.
Yeah.
Obviously, logistically, I'm really full of admiration to organizers of Red Bull X-Alps, because it's always a massive event and massive logistics behind it. But this year, with all the constantly changing restrictions and laws within Europe, it's not only about us pilots from outside of Europe to come to Europe and be able to compete, which itself it's a challenge for some teams, but also at this point we still haven't got certainty that we will be able to actually travel and cross the borders without delay, without borders between us. If we can't cross border, let's say between Austria and France, then the whole race just doesn't make doesn't make right to be. It can't happen. So it's extremely still difficult for organizers to assure this part. And fingers crossed that it's going to happen. If not, it may happen at the end of July, and if not, it will be postponed to 2022, which obviously when you come from New Zealand, it is also quite complicated for us to plan for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your ground crew and your choice. Did anything change from the last X-Alps?
Most of it changed.
Really?
The crew in 2019 was one of the very weak points of our participation. Not in the sense that they were bad. I'm not trying to blame them for any type of mistakes. It's not what I'm trying to say. It's more that I wasn't quite. I'm coming. My DNA is alone in the mountains with my Volviva gear, and I didn't quite appreciate before the first Red Bull X-Alps how much depends on the crew and how important the crew is in the whole process. And it's not only that I like them or they like me, that we are friends. It's also about if they really know their roles and understand what's involved and are committed to it. And for all this to make how they cooperate with each other, how they perform under pressure, how I perform with them under pressure. And basically I just didn't choose it properly, and then didn't brief them properly, because I simply didn't quite know what's involved and what to expect. And we had a lot of drama because of it, especially later in the race, because the first couple of days is just rolling itself. I don't even need the crew. I'm just flying on a pure adrenaline and endorphins. But then everybody get tired, and you really need to you really need the crew that works well together. So we have a different approach. I have still the same official supporter. Chris is my official supporter, and he will take care of my general well-being. But this time we and hike with me when possible. But this time we have also a few people with very, very distinctive tasks. Like we have Nino, who is basically his main area of interest is just sitting glued to the computer and helping me with making decisions and following weather, live tracking, and topography, and have making the decisions, because Red Bull X-Alps really about decisions. And this is another problem that we didn't quite appreciate. I thought, I always make my own decisions in the mountains, so I'll just kind of make them. But because there's so many decisions to make, and because I have to be constantly on the move, and if I just sit and for half an hour now and then and start analyzing instead of moving, or instead of focusing on my, on taking care of my feet or whatever else, it's really delaying everything. And the more it's delaying, the more I get tired, because obviously I get tired more into the race. And if you lose, I don't know, if you lose the 2 hours like this per day, and this is kind of optimistic because we're losing way more time during the race, then in the best scenario, even if you'd spend this time hiking, it's after 10 days, it's it's like 200 kilometers at least. This is how it translates to. And if you make a bad decision, it's way more than 200 kilometers because you might have flown a good distance meanwhile. So anyway, so we approach it a little bit more seriously this time, and in the same way we have Connie, who's gonna take care of all the logistics around the food supplies and driving and so I have some dry clothes to wear and like this, which seem again it didn't even come to my mind in 2019 that it may be an issue. But apparently simple things like this become a massive issues for us, especially like a few days into the race. Let's say after a week, literally like finding anything was such a problem because we didn't have a properly labeled boxes, and like really dull and boring stuff like this can make a massive difference in this race. So we are approaching it in a more structured and more less hooray way, more kind of.
We're going to take a quick break to give
and
away
one
stuff.
more thing that I have also a member, Ross. Ross is a member who's coming from your continent.
Oh, okay.
He will help us. Our
Ross?
Friend. Ross.
What?
Ross yes.
Where he's from America?
Yes, he's from America.
No kidding. Okay. I'm not sure who he is, but that's cool. Is he going to take care of the meteorology aspects, or what's his role?
He's going to help us to share a bit of driving part and share a little bit of hiking with me. Okay. And share a little bit of another thing that I didn't even think about managing before 2019, that someone has to take pictures and create content. Because as athletes, we need to create content, even if we don't think about it. And obviously I don't think about it when I'm racing, but someone has to do it. And so
you have great pictures, by the way. Yeah, you're
thank you, but they're not. It's a little bit different when I'm just chilling and going for like leisure hike and fly, then I can take nice pictures. But when I'm racing, I'm really like I'm a different animal. So
Yes. Let's spin the wheel. We're gonna give away something here on the show.
Yeah.
Sean, so if you're in the chat, your name has been put in the chat.
Already has been put in. No more names after this.
No more names.
No more I'm not taking any more names because I've got them all in there. So if you type in something now, too late. Should have said something earlier. So
we have
what are we giving away, Robert?
Let's give away a paraglidingtalk.com t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Go ahead and give it a spin. By the way, this spin is brought to you by Nebraska PPG. Josh Bowden, he runs a school in Nebraska. And if you're interested in getting some top-notch training for paramotoring, you can sign up with Josh and his team today. There's a link in the description. Also, this show is brought to you by iFly, Indiana-powered paragliding. If you're in the Indiana area, reach out to Kevin and his team. They'll get your feet off the ground. The website is iflyindiana.com. That's iflyindiana.com. Okay, we're getting close here. There's some great questions from the chats. Stand by. I'll get to those questions too. By the way, I saw somebody donated $10 to the super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out. Oh, Paint Bing. Oh, it's going to be right on the line. Oh, man, it was so close, Paint Bing. Paint Bing's my flying buddy.
Nick Webster, congratulations. Paint Bing, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Nick Webster. Right now, he just threw his phone.
Got his hopes up, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, really Paint Bing.
I thought I had it pegged. I know the wheel pretty good now, but Yeah. So Nick Webster, please reach out to me on the website, paraglidingtalk.com. Thank you, by the way, for all the sponsors that sponsor the show. If you want to sponsor the show and you want to get your name out there or something, you want to promote something, just reach out to me through the website. By the way, Sean Nafsker is going to be doing a training. It's kiting training, and he's going to be showing up to the one of the next fly-ins that's locally. He's created a website, and that website is, can you remind me again, Sean?
Okay, go to Calamity Kite Clinic.
Calamity Kite Clinic.
Yes, if you type in under Google search Calamity Kite Clinic, the first post that'll be up there is Calamity Kite Clinic on Facebook. You click on that, you can go directly to the website from there, or you can send a message to the Facebook.
There you go.
So if you're interested in turning calamity and chaos into control, you can do it there.
I like it. It's got a hook to it. So reach out to him and get signed up for that. And if you have questions for him, you can get those from Sean. So thanks for that, Sean. I think kiting's incredibly important, whether you're a paramotor pilot or free flight pilot.
Let me just say, that's nothing compared to what Kinga's doing. Because
I know.
I watched the video on YouTube of the X-Alps. I was like, oh, this would be interesting. You know, these guys are all hiking up mountains and flying and then landing out and then getting back up to where they get somewhere and then get flying again. I was like, holy crap, that should be like superhero status. Yeah. Like y'all should get a trophy that says superhero on it for just doing it, because I couldn't keep up. That's awesome, Kinga. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, some of the landings, that's what is insane to me. There's a video of Kriegel Maurer landing. He aims right at the mountain. He's got to be on speed bar. Last second, lets off speed bar, hits the brakes, and then just lands on the mountain, just directly into the hill. And I saw that one landing, and my mind was blown. And I guess that's a normal thing. You have to side hill land so you can avoid having to hike too much in the X-Alps. Let's get to some of the questions I had in the chat. One of the questions was about reserve parachutes during the competition. Obviously, you're going to be flying with at least one. Do you fly with two?
Not
just one?
Of course, one.
Just
I
one.
mean, we count every gram. I can't imagine anyone who would like to participate in Red Bull X-Alps with two reserves. It's just extra kilogram that you add on top of it. I mean, why would you do it?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons also why these X-Alps gliders are mellower, let's say, comparing to typical competition gliders, is that that we need to be able to manage them in every conditions. However, of course, it doesn't mean that that it doesn't happen that athletes throw reserves. It happens. I think actually, to be honest, 2019 was the first time that it didn't happen. Usually, there's at least one throw during the race, which actually, if you think about the conditions and the length of the race and the amount of flying, it's actually not so bad. And we obviously, it's mandatory. We need to have a reserve, and we need to carry it with us all the time. It's the same as helmet and obviously harness and paraglider and instrument and tracker. There's a mandatory equipment that we need to carry with us all the time, no matter what. And and the reserve is there. We basically all go for the lightest and simplest, most bulletproof solutions. So sometimes it's maybe happens it depends. Rounded and square. Majority of reserves are rounded under 1 kilogram super light reserves.
Wow.
And we just hope to never use them. So we don't really think about it too much.
Yes.
and also majority of harnesses for Red Bull X-Alps have a front mount, so a container, so it's accessible for both sides. This is, I guess, what we can do. So it's impossible the situation that, for example, something happens and you can't reach your reserve because it's just here in front of you.
Yeah. That's smart.
So I fly Airvusa with Airvusa rounded
Okay.
super light reserve. Very happy with it. Never had to use it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
But until I got this one, this ultralight in 2019.
Have you
And
done some SIV work?
yes, absolutely. And I done an SIV, and I also, except last year because I didn't make it to Italy last year, but normally per season I spent at least week or 2 weeks at Lago di Garda training with whatever wing I'm flying. I'm
Okay.
not an acro gal, definitely. It's not my thing. I don't particularly like speed and G-forces. So anything beyond wingovers and spiral diving, I just don't like it.
Right.
But it's super important for me to understand how the wing spins, and especially how it stalls, and how it shoots, and how it reacts to collapses. So I do various things that just normal SIV training, as you would imagine. Not always with SIV instructor, but always over water, obviously, and with the boat
Sure.
ready. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your recent adventures and some of your personal free flying stuff. You know, I know that X-Alps is a big deal, but I think I really like your other stuff even in more. This is personally even more. I like your adventures because I feel like I
I
can
like
go
it
do
more
those.
too.
Yeah. Tell me about some of your recent adventures and talk about I mean, your pictures are incredible on Instagram. I should probably put a link while you're explaining that.
Yes, we've had a beautiful summer here in New Zealand, beautiful season. New Zealand can be tricky with weather, but it strongly depends on El Nino or La Nina regime that we are at. And this summer was La Nina, and it brought quite a bit of rain and north winds to northeast winds to the North Island, but quite a beautiful dry weather to the South Island, and we had some beautiful conditions. I spent quite a bit of time camping, flying, cruising new lines, doing some very cool, making some very cool decisions, and then trying to do some alternative options, and it didn't always work. Sometimes it meant that I spent a little bit more time in the mountains than I anticipated, but
Yeah.
it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
And basically, when we fly here in New Zealand, the Southern Alps are particular in this way that every time basically I go cross country, I'm going vol bivac. So it doesn't really always happen. Sometimes I close the circuit. Sometimes I fly to the next valley to the civilization. But it happens quite often that when you land on the way, and especially when you try to fly particular lines with not the best conditions, not this epic conditions, but some average, and just try to push it. It happens quite often that we land out, and then it's either night in the mountain.
How many people are you normally flying with when you?
Oh, here I fly alone.
And it's
Here
always.
I fly alone. We have sometimes it happens that we are on the takeoff together, of course, especially when we fly from one of two takeoffs in Otago where we can actually drive to. Then there's a lot of people around, because all the other places basically we need to hike. And of course it happens that we go together and hike together or take off together, but it's really rare to fly together or cross country. At least for me, I'm just built in a different way. However, there is a few other pilots. We have quite a small community, and because again going into the mountains and flying deeper cross country requires quite a bit of commitment here. So there's only a few pilots actually flying some distance and flying into the mountains. But it happens that they fly together. But in my case, it's like 99% of the time alone. Yeah.
I wanted to ask this, and this is, just because I'm curious. Have you ever had encounters with animals or wildlife that you were like, oh my gosh, that scared me, or situations that came up while you're out there?
Not in New Zealand, because in New Zealand we basically haven't got scary animals. They have only some parrots and kiwi birds. I was like, there's really nothing that can hurt you.
Yeah, the kiwi birds.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I had a few really close encounters with big birds of prey, which is always scary, especially if they actually try attack your glider, or
Right.
if they don't look, because there are two types of birds of prey. Most of them, the smaller ones, especially in spring, all the birds like hawks or falcons or whatever, they may feel threatened, and then they start attacking and picking into you and attacking your glider. And then the best thing to do is just yell at them and fly away.
Yeah.
So this one happened to me a few times, but then you're mostly scared about your glider, because they're attacking the glider. They're not really attacking you yourself. And I had a few close encounters with vultures in Indian Himalayas. They are never aggressive because they don't feel threatened. They are kings or queens in the sky, so they're completely chilled. However, they're very smart birds. They're actually incredibly impressive birds to fly with, because they not only fly very well and they know where the thermals are and use them very efficiently, but also in the same way that we use them, they use us, and they observe where we climb, and they come closer and closer. And sometimes, especially young birds, so there are two things that may happen with them. One is that young birds are trying to sit on your glider, and it happened to me quite a few times. I got some rips, like some holes in the glider. I saw it many times happening, that they're just coming from above and putting their paws down, they're putting their legs down and landing on it, and then they realize it's not really stable, solid surface.
Oh my
so
gosh.
They just bounce off, and they're trying to keep their balance, and then they're just trying to scratch your glider. So this one is actually quite hilarious, but at the same time they always damage the glider, because they have this massive claws that are trying to find their balance. But then the most probably tricky part with them is that you thermal with them, and you should always thermal in the same direction as they are thermaling. Sometimes pilots just have their favorite direction and they thermal in the opposite way. They join the thermal, and then they expect the birds to adjust. It's like they will not gonna do it. They're just they don't understand the rights of that you prefer to thermal to the left or whatever. So we've had quite a few accidents of like pilots crashing into birds, and they're like, "Oh, this bird just flew into me." No, dude, it's you. You are the guest here. He's a local, so you should give him right of way. But the same time, it happens, and this is something to be careful with them, because it happens that they mostly look straight down, looking for food. So it may happen that if they're higher or lower, you see them and they see you. But if you're exactly at the same altitude, they just don't look around. They just cruise with their head down, and they just only look down. And sometimes they're going really straight into you, and they're like, "Hey!" And they're like, "Oh." They're flying away. So this is like something to be vigilant about. Also, we've quite a few things camping on the when I was alone. Traces of bears in Indian Himalayas, and it is always a little bit like, oh, they look quite fresh. Like, which way did he go? And usually, because we are there in autumn, we assume that maybe they're not so hungry because there's a lot of food in autumn. But like, it's always So, but did I have a bet? No, sometimes I was really freaking out because local pilots, I was in Dolomites, local pilots told me that there is a lot of wolves there, and I shouldn't sleep in the tent. So every for a whole night when I was hearing something, I was like, but
wow.
like, it's stupid because wolves are not really. They don't tend to attack humans anyway. They just don't like humans. So they're smart enough to keep away. So no, I don't know. Did you guys have
we have bald eagles that are nesting at Blossom Valley. Have you heard of Blossom Valley before? It's popular we call it Awesome Blossom. Most of the country knows about it. but I don't know
I
if
heard
the world.
about it, but never been there. So
Yeah, you have to come. It's a great
I
place
will.
to fly. It's super fun. But we have a golden eagle pair and then a bald eagle pair. And you're right. We've Paint Bing, who's watching, he and I have flown in this shared thermals with these birds many times. And I'm telling you, when we're really hungry to go fly, sometimes we'll launch before we see any birds, just hoping that there's going to be a good thermal. And as soon as we launch, you will see them come. They'll join you because they're looking too. And
Yeah.
I learned that in the last couple of years. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I would say that all my encounters with birds, basic majority, it's just stunning and super beautiful, because just the sharing, being able to share the sky with them, especially the big birds. I
Yes.
have a particular weakness towards vultures, both in Europe and in Indian Himalayas. They're just such an incredible smart birds, and they haven't got the best. They're not the best looking birds, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're a bit stinky and everything. So people don't generally like them, but when you see them flying, they're just so majestic and so smart and just incredible. So I rather always look forward to it rather than try to feel afraid of it, because
They
at
have a
the end,
really good glide ratio, the
they
vultures.
do.
Incredible
They
glide ratio.
do. They do. They
I feel
just
like they're
keep
cheating.
going.
Yeah.
And also, they often, what they do, they just sit on the on the top of your glider, just not sit, but the glide just behind, and use the
Yeah.
wave of the little
Yes.
lift that your glider creates, and on
Yeah.
the kind of rotor on the left side of your glider.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. Yeah, they're really
The
impressive.
vortices.
Impressive birds. Yeah.
I have to mention a couple sponsors real quick. We're towards the end of the show. The show is also brought to you by Lone Star Paramotor. If you are in the Lone Star state of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan and his team for world-class training. The website is lonestarparamotor.com. Also, the show is brought to you by Torrey Pines Glider Port. If you want to learn in the most beautiful place in the United States, you can reach out to Max or any of the guys there at flytorrey.com. That's flytorrey, spelled TORREY.com. Also, the show is brought to you by Resurgence PPG. If you are interested in supporting our men and women of uniform, you can make a tax-deductible donation to resurgenceppg.com. And by donating, you're sponsoring those who have put their lives on the line for our freedom. You can reach out to Todd Scandrett at resurgenceppg.com if you want to support them. And really appreciate everybody who's been supporting the show on Patreon and PayPal. You guys are awesome. All the people that have been supporting the show and keeping it going on the super chat, you guys are great. Thank you. We're going to go to the after show. I had many other questions. Kinga, can you come back on the show again? This was really good, and I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
We barely scratched because I was late, because I thought we have still an hour and a half. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
We need to really, we'll talk about it later, but we really need to, idiot-proof solution here. I need to find the proper solution, so I really know.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, because the last time you invited me, I had some massive problems in the internet. Now apparently the internet is working, but my brain isn't working so well. So
no, you're okay. We're on the different sides of the planet. It's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Absolutely. Let's do it again, and let's talk about maybe a little bit, because we always talk and start, which is natural, from an upcoming Red Bull X-Alps. But there's so many other things to talk about.
Absolutely.
And I also saw that there were some questions that weren't necessarily connected to Red Bull X-Alps. So it would be really cool to address all these questions.
Yes. By the way, we are going to go to the after show. So hopefully Kinga can stay for just a few more minutes after offline.
Yes.
John Wayne donated $10 to the super chat. Thank you, John Wayne. Appreciate you and appreciate you watching. All you guys that are in the chat, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You make the show what it is. Thank you again. The winner, Nick Webster. Thank you for the moderators, Anthony Peregringo, Craig Taylor, Sean Nafsker, Nick's somewhere, Fasekas somewhere in there also. Thank you for what you guys do. And we're going to go to the after show. If you want to join the after show, just drop your email in the chat. And I know the regulars who are coming on, I'll send out your invites. And so thank you so much. Kinga, thank you so much for coming on. I'm super excited.
Thank you for having me. Awesome thing what you're doing here, guys. Awesome little community you've created. So really, really cool to be part of it.
Thank
Sit.
you so much.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're going to go to the after show. Thank you guys again. We'll catch you on the next one. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in the air. Thanks for watching.